I'm talking to retired Air Force Colonel Don Crumlin again, who amongst his awards were two congressional awards for outstanding service, and he has several other amazing awards. And I'm thrilled to have you here today.
Glad to be here. Thank you.
And today we are going to have a little different format. We're going to have a 1 minute round for each topic, and we want to hear what Colonel Crumlin has to say. So let's get started. Your first round, starting in 1 second flat, will be Iran. Begin.
Iran, we have quite a quagmire and mess because, as I had outlined before in one of our previous discussions, you have to go into a conflict like that with strategic direction, tactical implementation. There are no clear goals. It's being managed from a high level, which is impossible to manage a complex war. This is very complex, and the people that are directing the actions are treating it like they just watched a couple of John Wayne movies and they can implement things according to that. And they're panicking. With every move they make, there's a counter move that real military war planners are responding to, and that's not working out very well with top level administration people.
Very good. You have 15 seconds left. Want to say anything?
All of the counter moves are more sophisticated than the initial moves made by people who think they know what they're doing and instead should have handed over the mission to the professional military folks at the top of the directive chain.
Next topic, Venezuela. 1 minute.
Venezuela, we went in with a plan to shake up the government, change the leadership, and there was no follow-up plan. So without doing a proper assessment of the landscape, both politically, geographically, and strategically with regard to what happens next, we had blown up a bunch of boats that were questionable with regard to their significance in terms of the mission that we were told. As with all of these questions, the problem is that the top administration, as well as those trying to cover up for the top administration, are not telling the truth, or at least not the whole truth, on all of these discussions. So it's very frustrating for those of us that are trying to interpret what are we really doing there, why are we there, all of those, who, what, when, where, why, how, all of those things are jumbled up because people are not disclosing the actual truth of where we are, what we're doing, where we're headed, what the ultimate mission is, and how we're going to get there from here.
Next, 1 minute. Ukraine.
Ukraine should be a collective NATO enhanced support system that helps the Ukrainian people that did not ask for this conflict. Russia attacked them. They are defending themselves. They are on the threshold of becoming a NATO member. And we, because of both their political, geographic, and industrial position in the world, it is in our best interest and to support the footprint and the emotional content as well as the physical relationships and governmental relationships that all of Europe has and Eurasia has with Ukraine in order to protect itself in its sovereign territory against the Russian invasion. There shouldn't be any question about that. We shouldn't be dancing with the devil in the pale moonlight over that. We should be supporting Ukraine wholeheartedly and ensuring that that democracy survives in that neck of the woods.
1 minute. Cuba.
Cuba is a sovereign territory, and just because it is not of our political organization and design does not mean we have the right to move in, take over, etc. They have limited resources, but they do have some key resources, but we don't have the right to just go in and commandeer their government, their people, their territory, just because someone feels like it. And diplomacy should be the leading edge of the interaction that we have with Cuba.
Greenland.
Greenland is a sovereign territory under the administration of Denmark. Denmark is supposedly a really good friend of ours. We had several military bases that were once active and are easily able to reactivate in Greenland. It is a complex territory. The administration tries to make everything seem really C-spot run simple, but it's not. However, until this administration, Greenland and Denmark were very intimate allies with all of our missions. If we wanted to just rev up our footprint in Greenland and activate those bases, put people there, and basically work out a diplomatic solution to whatever economic goals were mutually beneficial, that should have been an easy path without any conflict or hostilities being involved. But we, being this administration, has chosen to do it another way, and that has caused significant strife and turmoil and consternation amongst all of the rest of the NATO nations, because they've had to respond. Denmark is a legitimate NATO member and should be treated with not only respect but with a friendly disposition, so that we can work through whatever we need to in order to cooperate and graduate.
1 minute. Canada.
Canada has been just behind the United Kingdom in terms of our strongest allies. And in some cases, you could argue that it is even stronger, since it's our closest neighbor just to the north, just as Mexico is our close neighbor and supposed ally to the south. But Canada, we have always had a robust and very, very fluid and unique partnership arrangement and interface with Canada. So to have approached them in a hostile, aggressive manner to shake things up so that they're boycotting our products and boycotting we also, Canada is complicated because the forestry in Canada is where we get our old growth wood products that support our housing industry. Why is that important? Because the Canada, being our northern neighbor, the much colder temperatures makes a much harder wood for the wood products that we use in order to, and more cost effective than us to rob from ourselves. So the wood product is higher quality. They have an extremely robust collection of minerals and precious metals and that sort of thing that are vital to the high-tech industry. And when we had a really good friendly relationship with them, working out a deal or an agreement, a diplomatic agreement, which is what we should be doing with most of our interfaces with allies and others, is much more effective and much more in line with someone who is considered to be a good friend. So those things have been compromised. We are now robbing from our national parks and our national forests for wood that is inferior in terms of it's grown up in a warmer climate, so it's not going to be as resilient over time. It's not going to be as high quality. Plus, why are we stripping and degrading our national forests and natural products when we had a ready and willing friend, neighbor, diplomatic ally that we were getting all of these things, and they were much higher quality. Plus, like I said, the precious metals, minerals, etc., that are vital to the IT industry were also a very free-flowing diplomatic arrangement and agreement in terms of our commerce and trade with them that is now in a limbo and an adversarial type of relationship, which was totally unnecessary and didn't have to go in that direction.
What do you think about what we've done, this administration has done with the relationship?
The administration has killed at least 50 years or more of hard-earned trust in the diplomacy and diplomatic relations and communications with all of our NATO friends and other allies. And this lone wolf McQuade, go it alone concept is very counter to the way that things work in the world these days. We are in a global economy where every little tipping point affects somebody else, and it's a domino effect. And for us to be in isolation and think that we can go it alone and bully other people into our way of thinking, that concept has not worked since before the Civil War. After the Civil War, when the Industrial Revolution occurred and everything became global in terms of the interface of all of the major products and industries sharing across global lines, this strategy of being adversarial, bullying, authoritative, aggressive, considering everything to be transactional in terms of a deal instead of a diplomacy, a trust interface between two entities that have honesty, integrity, perseverance, and a ability to overcome speed bumps in the communication so that we have a fluid, active interface of trade that is mutually beneficial instead of a deal where I'm adversarially trying to get a 60-40 or an 80-20 instead of everybody being in cooperation and graduation of being totally comfortable with a 50-50 interface that is good for both sides of the equation.
All right, very nice. Well, I can't thank you enough for doing this. This is
Sure
wonderful.
thing. Yeah,
Always
let's
great
there's
fun.
still plenty of stuff on the list, so let's do this again sometime
We'll
soon.
definitely do another round very soon.